Hello, this is my 2001 MINI Cooper R50 model. I've had this car stored here for 2 years with a clutch fault. Now I'm about to show you how to replace a clutch without removing the complete subframe. To drain the gearbox, there's your drain plug. Remove that, drain all fluids out. To refill the gearbox, if you can get your hands in there, it's that bolt there. That's your refill plug. This is a Midland box and it takes approximately 1.7 litres of GL4 gearbox oil, which is 75/80 it should be. Now we have this Mini on axle stands and both front road wheels removed. To remove these splash guards, you have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plastic clips and 1, 2 screws. So with those removed, the splash guard should be free enough to pull off. Now both splash guards have been removed, time to remove the front bumper. And to do this, you have 1 8mm there from underneath, 1 8mm there from underneath, T30 Torx, another T30 Torx, and looks like to be a 10mm there, and another one there. Now those bolts have been removed, to release the bumper, push down on the clips on the front crash bar. Make sure you unplug your indicators and your side lights on both sides, and most importantly the ambient temperature sensor external, which I've got mesh grilled here. So once you've removed the bumper, time to remove this crash bar, and there are 5 13mm bolts and nuts on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same goes to the other side. Once those free, it should pull off fairly easy, like so. Exposing the radiator. You've got crash tubes either side. To remove those, right, remove the 10mm bolt just there on each side, and undo both 16mm bolts holding the crash tube in place. So you just take them out and just tap the crash tube out. After some tapping and to free it off, just and there you have it. Repeat the process from both sides. Once you've removed both crash tubes, unplug both front fog lights and pull the wiring through. Same for the other side. Disconnect the coolant fan, etc. Undo top radiator hose pipe. Pull the AC pipes down. My AC wasn't pressurised, so that's something I can get regassed at a later date. Undo the bottom hose. Then undo 10mm bolt and a 10mm bolt on that side, and it should, in theory, lift away clear. exposing the engine. To undo the hub nut, or drive shaft nut, you need a 32mm impact socket and ideally an impact gun. Makes simple work. There you go. As easy as that. Remove the 18mm nut on the bottom of the ball joint. And just clout it with a hammer just to shock it and see if it releases. As easy as that. Remove battery, remove ECU, just unplug it. Remove the three 10mm bolts to remove the battery box, and to remove the air filter box, undo the clip. Again, two 10mm bolts. Remove them and the box should lift straight out. To get to the top starter motor bolt, you have to first remove this heat shield here. There's two 30mm bolts, one there and one there. Once they're removed, move that to one side and there'll be a 10mm bolt for the lower exhaust shield covering the starter motor. Remove that, then move the cover to one side. Then you can get to the top starter motor bolt, which is also a gearbox bolt as well. And once you drop the starter, undo either these two bolts here, one here on the other side, or the bracket bolts, this one, and again the other side, both are 10mm. That's for the clutch slave cylinder, to move that out of the way. Right, next up, remove this rear suspension, rear engine mount. 17 bolt, 17, remove those two, remove the what's commonly known as the dog bone, and then remove all four 30mm bolts for the bracket on the engine. And while I'm under here, subframe. Well, the subframe bolts is one at the top there and three at the back. So on the off side, just slacken those bolts off, all four bolts off, and remove the lower suspension arm bolt. And on the near side, remove all 5 bolts. That way you can drop the subframe by a couple of inches. You don't need to remove it completely to remove the gearbox. Saves you a lot of time and a lot of work. Once you remove the bracket, you can then get to the bolts, the intermediate shaft. One there, and see it. There's another one just above it, and another one right on the top of the shaft bearing itself. Remove them, and then pull the shaft straight out. Once you've removed the drive shaft, you can then get to the bottom bolt for the starter motor, and also remove the splash guard around the differential. Two 10mm bolts. Right, just pop off the gear shift cables, both of them, and unbolt the mounting bracket from the gearbox. There's 4 10mm bolts. Once you've done that, make sure you've got your engine supported. Remove the main gearbox mount and unplug the reverse sensor, and remove all gearbox bolts. There should be 1, 2, 3. It's 2 underneath, 1 at the back, and 2 on the top. One there, and the one underneath this pipe here. And then unbolt the subframe, loosen the bolts off from the near side, offside, and on the near side unbolt them from the front, back, remove them and drop the subframe by about 2 inches. That will give you enough clearance then to remove the box. As I said previously, there is no need to remove the subframe completely. As you can see, I've dropped it roughly about 2.5 inches, and it gave me enough room to remove the gearbox. I'm going to state the clutch as expected, and exploded release bearing. So what I'll do, I'll just clean it up. I'll change the guide tube, put a new one in, and put a new 3-piece clutch kit in. Now we're going to remove this clutch. So using an E8 Torx socket, that's one, and it. He's not very tight at all. And there's one right in there, and one on the bottom. Is that one? Yeah, missed it a bit. It should be all out. Yep, and it should just get a screwdriver to prise that off the dowels on. And there we go. What do we got here? In fact, there's not much. Well, there is some wear on that. Not a lot though. Well, I'll just clean the inspectors, make sure there's no blemishes or cracks on the flywheel, which looks. These are clean, so I'll use a bit of emery cloth to clean that up, make sure it's not cracked, and then just fit the new clutch. The clutch kit I'm using is a Borg and Beck clutch, part number HK7794. This is a 3-piece clutch kit. The MINI Cooper R50. This is a 2001 model. So yeah, look at this. New release bearing, clutch plate, so that should do. And new housing. So let's crack on and let's get this fitted. So now we've cleaned the gearbox out, we're now going to remove this guide tube and its 3 8mm bolts. So we just quickly undo them. I have already loosened them off. Once I find the socket. two. And it should just and there we have it. And well, as you can see, it's not as chewed up, just got melted plastic on it. But I suppose it could be cleaned up, but I'm just going to fit a new one anyway. So, and to fit a new one, exactly the same way the old one comes out. Pop it in, clean the seal up first, main surface, pop it in, tighten all three bolts up, grease it up, Bob's your uncle. The new guide tube is fitted. I'm just going to grease the pivot joints on the clutch arm with some lithium grease. Just hold up a bit. Got some lithium grease. Grease the pivot. And do the same for the top as well. With a new 3-piece clutch kit, including release bearing, it's now time to reassemble the car. It just goes back together exactly the same way it was taken apart. Due to the time it's been stored off-road, I've also overhauled the complete brake system with front discs and pads, rear discs and pads and rear calipers.